This is the date that for so many years, the date that we would gather together as a community, as a state, and as a nation to start the remembering process of what the Civil War is and what the Civil War means. What's happened in those 10 years that Julian has talked about, some have called a miracle. I never will accept that. It was a community to work together to achieve this great goal that everyone can enjoy on this day, November 30, 2014. Whatever words that we share with you today can in no way ennoble this land and the stories that it contains. All of those luminaries that you will find out there do that because they all represent those men who at that time were fighting for separate countries and what they gave on this land to this nation today. That ennobles this landscape and makes it a place quite unlike any other place in Tennessee, and a place that remembering can begin. And what do we want to remember today? Well, we do not want to look away. No looking away. We want to look forward to what the war, the death, the destruction meant to our nation. We turned a page at that time, although it was a long time in finishing turning that page, because for many years, the remembering was too painful. There were too many who died here, and it all seemed so pointless at a time. And then there were the generations of darkness, where people then said, the war only means one thing, and it's not for everyone, it's only for us. But what the war's sacrifice meant was for all Tennesseans, all Americans. It was that chance to live up to the words of freedom and democracy stated by a former slaveholder when he wrote in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal. It took us a long time to live up to the promise that these men gave us, this second chance to build a nation that now we all take so great pride in the leadership that we provide the world in democracy and the meaning of freedom. So as you walk this land tonight, think of those little lights that are coming from each luminary, because they really are the spark of democracy that was turned and ended, and the death count started to mount. That idea that we could move forward as a nation and embrace a new definition of freedom, a new definition of citizenship, and not be two countries anymore, but be one. And that is what brings us to today. Those lights of freedom that shine not just here, but that shine all over the freedom. All over the city. Because they're little reminders of this day, November 30, 2014, when you can tell your children and you can tell your grandchildren that you were here to remember this day and to turn that page finally to a new chapter in our history. So let's just think of this as we walk through the night, that from the hilltop of Winsdale Hill, let freedom ring. From the walls of Fort Granger, let freedom ring. And from the back porch of Carnton Plantation, most assuredly, let freedom ring.